Welcome back, everyone. This is the Game One Loves Forever, the golf podcast. And today's episode, we're halfway through the season, halfway through the year. July is, when summer golf really starts. So we'll get into that a little bit and we'll check in with where I am with my resolutions. Not much an update, but I do at least have something for you guys. And I'll get into that a little bit. But we'll have a little bit of summer golf Q&A. I know I did a Q&A session last week or last episode, and these ones are more geared towards the summertime, right? So then I'll talk a little bit about I've been doing the podcast for a year now, and I can't believe it. It's actually kind of gone by really fast, and I've learned some things. I'm going to work on some things and just kind of fill you guys in where we're headed, where we're going. So just buckle up and settle in, and we'll get right into the episode. All right. So first thing is going to be halfway through the year. Where am I in my resolution? So it's July now. By the time this comes out, it'd be July. It is July. Hope everyone had a good 4th. And the really only update, unfortunately, I'm still only have broken 80 twice. I've been super close, played a few times, and I shot an 86, 85. I've been playing some a little bit harder courses, but I still, I still could have definitely broke 80. And it just little things here, here and there. Still kind of, I bladed a chip. Driver still seems to be good. It's just everything. Oh, I even had one where I was on into, and I just hit the crap out of the ball for no reason with my putter and, bogeyed it. So yeah, there's just little things. I just need to stay focused. But the big news of the resolution is I finally got my, push card out and finally got it out and actually took it out and used it. So I have walked the 18 holes twice over at Hagen Oaks, Alistair McKenzie course. I've done that one twice. And, I, had some theories on walking, right? So far, it seems like I was right. I was correct in thinking walking will continuously help me to, stay loose. I won't be as tired, even though you think you will be tired. And I felt that to be true. I really, I walked the course, and even I don't know, by the end of it, I really wasn't that sore. I wasn't tired. I wasn't stiff. I feel like when you stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down. And when you sit down, like in a cart while you're playing, I feel that's when you start to stiffen up and my back starts to hurt or my back tightens up. And, so I didn't really feel any of that when I was walking, which was nice. And then on the fact that I walked, 7.7 miles, something like that. It was actually fun. I had a lot of fun. And both times I've played with the same ball both times. And so I finished my first round in May, I think, and then of walking, and I played with the same ball, and I left it in there. I took it out again when we walked again, and I finished with that one. There was one where I sliced it, and I thought it was gone, but it just hung on enough where I could punch out, play it safe, play up, 2-putt for my bogey, and get out of there. And so I tried to lose it. I tried to lose it, but it came back, or I was able to find it and finish the round. So two of my theories I think are kind of coming true. One, stay loose. You stay loose. Two, you don't lose your ball as much because you walk right to it. And so far, I haven't lost my ball. And I've even hit in some sticky situations, and I still found my ball. Again, so I think my theory. So if anyone who doesn't know, my theory was that you won't lose your ball when you're walking, or you won't lose as many. Obviously, if you go in the water, you're done. But you won't lose your ball. Like, let's say you just hit in the rough on the left side or the right side, and you're like, I know it's right here. Well, with walking, I believe you don't. That's not quite a factor because you walk straight to your ball. So far, it seemed to be working. I played with the same ball for 2 rounds. I don't think I've done that ever, to be honest. I don't think I've ever, at least 2 rounds. I know I've finished a round, but with the same ball, that's some top tier stuff right there. So, no, just kidding. But so as far as resolutions, I think that is where I am. I've walked twice. Actually, I like it a lot. So anybody who's debating, I would get a push cart. It's pretty cool. It's nice. You don't always get to talk with your buddies, but on the other hand, you do talk with everyone a little bit more often. So like usually when you're in your golf cart partner, you just really talk to them, right? Because you don't continuously drive around to your ball just for you two. Whereas the foursome that's walking, you kind of talk to one guy, then you talk to your other buddy, then you talk to the other buddy because you kind of just go where your shots are and you just walk, you all walk off the tee and you're kind of talking, chatting. So in that aspect, I kind of liked it because then you got to, visit with everyone and not just your cart partner. So now it is here in July, here in Sacramento, it's going to be 100 degrees here soon, if not already in some places, and or depending when you play. And walking may not be conducive. I did notice that had a lot of sun on me the whole time, so I may have to definitely wear sunscreen, but I'll have to bring a umbrella and because I think they'll have the umbrella adapter or whatever, so you can stick an umbrella in there. But I definitely will. I'm thinking on those hot days, or if I play in the afternoons and I walk, I definitely have to bring an umbrella. So getting into, that brings me to next point. July summer golf. We got, there's some aspects that we love. There's some aspects that we don't love. For instance, I just talked about the 100-degree weather, but I know everyone loves how far the ball flies. I know I do. You can get another extra, just, I don't know, even if you hit the same distance carry, you can probably get another, I don't know, 10, 15 yards out of the roll. So depending on the course and how you strike it, but yeah, so that's a plus, right? You get to get a little bit further on your drive. You probably, for me, I can chip better because the ground is harder, and you can kind of you can feel the bounce or if there's going to be a bounce, or if you're it's hard, soft. You don't really get those chunks like you do in the winter. The bad news is everything dries out. So, for instance, like if you like to keep your ball clean, you gotta always keep a towel on you that's wet. I'm not very good at that, but my buddy Chad, you've seen him on the podcast. Chad's really good at always cleaning the ball, clean his clubs. He's meticulous about that. I'm not as good at that. I just kind of play through the shots, and it's like, oh, if it's dirty, I probably won't clean until I have to use it again on that round. But yeah, and even sometimes once my ball, or if I forget my towel to clean my ball to putt, I'll just kind of try to wipe it as much as I can and go from there. So that's a con, I would say, that everything dries out. You got to keep everything, keep your towels wet. That sounds funny. Keep your towels wet. Anytime you go to I don't know, just water around, just dunk it. Obviously the other one is you gotta stay hydrated because it is hot. And, if there's any way that anybody knows a way for me to stay hydrated while you're walking, let me know. I mean, obviously carry water on you, but are there any tips and tricks that I don't know about? I don't know. Cause I don't walk during the summer. So let me know if you know anything, comment and, fill me in on your tips and tricks for walking. So, and then I can bring them up here on the podcast next time. The other thing that, by staying hydrated, you want to have your drink. So I like to, I like to have a beer, obviously. So I was gonna ask you guys, what is your favorite drink? What's your go-to drink? I have a lot of guys that go to it's a transfusion. I don't know exactly what's in a transfusion, but it looks like a lot of alcohol. And at 10 a.m., I'm not usually ready for that yet. But hey, there's some guys that just anytime you're on the course, it's a good time for a transfusion. So, and that, hey, no judging me here. Drink what you want. It's just we're out there having a fun time. The other thing that I was thinking of is, obviously your beers. Oh, Jameson shots, or tequila shots, whatever. Some guys I know like just take a shot and a chaser and then ride it out with a beer or whatever it may be. Um, I'm I'm not really, at least now, because I'm trying to break 80 every time I play. That's kind of been my focus this year. I haven't been drinking as much, even during the summer. It's just been more water, maybe a beer here and there. And in the beginning of the year, I wasn't drinking. Just before a trip that we were going to take, I was trying to, not really slim down. It was just a test to see if I could go from January to the time we left to not drink. So I wasn't even drinking on the course. Didn't seem to help my game. Well, it helped my game, but didn't help me break 80 my game. So, um, yeah. So I think right now what I hear a lot is transfusions. I mean, and then, what's the one? What's the one? Oh, Fireball. Duh. Fireball is another good one. I know a lot of people like that one, or Screwball. I'm not a huge fan of Screwball, but uh, you know, hey, everyone each to their own, right? If I was taking shots, it'd be like tequila, maybe Jameson. I mean, I've done Jameson before, and none of them are sponsors, so I'm just willy nilly out here. Um, and yeah, so just let me know what you guys like to, what your go-to drink is on the course, and if it's just water, hey, it's water. The next thing we're going to get into really quickly here is the summer golf Q&A. So, question 1, how do I keep my grip from getting slippery in summer heat? Slippery, like cuz you're sweating? I mean, like I was just saying, if things kind of dry out, so maybe that's what they mean, is like from sweat, but I always feel like, if anything, like the glove, or maybe get a new glove, every month or so. Um, yeah, I've never really had that. Never had that issue. Or maybe dry your glove, and if you dry your glove and the handle on a towel, maybe that'll help. That's an interesting one. I don't know if I've never noticed, or there's just never been an issue. So, hmm, that's that's a good one. Stumped me there, kind of. So, yes, slippery during the summer heat, huh? Okay. Well, question 2. Should I change anything for dry, fast greens? Yes, 100%. They will be hard, so they'll bounce. They will, even if they water them, they're going to run. I would say when you're putting, I mean, obviously your approach, but if you're on the green, short little uh, backswings or backstroke, take little small putts and just kind of more of the follow through, or even just like, toe to toe. If you're in your stance, like go to your feet, go toe to toe, right foot to left foot. And yeah, just realize that the faster it is, the more, I believe, the faster is the less break there is. But you play that. So if you just tap it and let it roll on its own, then it will, you know, gain speed off of that. But yeah, I mean, I would just, err on the side of fast. And if they are super fast, then I would also check grain. So make sure. So what I do checking grain is, I think I've said this before on the podcast, but checking grain is slide your putter, the bottom of your putter, against or like towards the hole. And if it's like kind of like skips, then you're against the grain. So you may need to put a little bit harder to kind of adjust for that. And then if you do slide it and it's just smooth like this table here, and you go towards, then you're with grain. So then it's going to be even faster. So those are little things to think about. And also, if you're against the grain and uphill, or against the grain and downhill, if those kind of combinations, or with the grain and uphill, it's probably going to roll like it was straight, or a level putt. So those are just things to calculate too. I'm telling you, man. I mean, golf is like, it's like a math problem. It's just like math. You got to do all the calculations in your head. You got to know how far the putt is. Um, yeah, I just, really quick anecdote. I saw this. I don't remember who he was. I'll have to give him credit, but it was a YouTube channel, and he's trying to get. He talked to a professor or something who studies sonif. I forget what's called, sonification or sona. Anyway, he uses sounds to for timing, and everyone's different apparently. And I think they just say that because they want to give everyone a different, So basically, everyone can't use the same word. It might be all the same word. Who knows? But anyway, that's besides the point. But basically, you say these sounds like like sofati or sofale or something, like sounds, right? And that's your cadence of your putt. So like for a 7 foot putt, you have a certain sound. For for a 10 foot putt, you have a certain sound. And I thought that was really interesting. And it does make sense because you're gonna if you have the same tempo every time, then the speed will be the same. It's just now you got to do calculation for it's uphill, downhill, right? With grain, against grain, all that stuff. But as long as the idea is, as long as you're online, you will make the putt, or at least it'll be 7 feet every time, and you can count on that 7 feet. Why they pick 7 feet, I don't know. Um, I'm usually at 15 feet. I think I would ask for 15 feet and, and find out, what's the sound for 15 feet. That's what I need. So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, and I believe that would work. I mean, he was saying it in his head. He wasn't saying it out loud. The guy who was the YouTube channel it was, and he was. I don't think he missed a putt because he said like the idea is like as long as you're online, you'll never miss. So I mean, I get Captain Obvious there. Will never miss, but you won't miss the 7 feet is what he meant by he won't miss. You won't miss. But so I don't know if you can like find words that will time your your distance in putting. I think that will help you exponentially. I may even try it. I go out there. I just don't, practiced enough. That also reminds me, I have not been practicing chipping because if you see some videos I will have seen me blade it a couple times. Or chunk, that's been my MO right now. I just need to battle that. Otherwise, I believe, I'm cruising to under 80 1 out of 3 rounds and I'd be there. So it's so frustrating, golf. That's why we play it, right? Game one lasts forever. That's why we do it because we like to play because it's always different. It's a problem solving game. Really, it's problem solving. I think that's why guys love it so much. It's problem solving. And every problem is different. You never hit the same shot twice. So yeah, so I will hopefully link that or put it around here somewhere and you can check out this guy who or the doctor who can who did a little sonification for putting. So really, it's probably just more like a is it monogram? I forget what it's called. When when you metronome. Yeah. So metronome where it's like tick 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 tick, and you just put on that rhythm, but more sound based. So last one here that I have is we already kind of talked about what was your go to drink in July. Again, I would say, as far as tall cans of beers, I like Modelo. Sometimes I'll get the Michelada Modelo. That's, when you need some extra calories or something, you're out there and you're sweating it all out. The other one, as far as beers, I like the 805 Cerveza. That one's good. So I got a little lime in it. Basically like a Mexican lager. It's made by 805, but it's a Mexican lager style with lime. I mean, you can't go wrong with that one, but I kind of get crap from my friends that it's not really a Mexican beer. So, okay, I get it. It's not, stick with Modelo or Corona or what's the other one? Dos Equis. No. There's another one. I don't know, Tecate. But the one you see mostly on the course is the Modelo, and Corona. But hey, if you can get a couple 6 packs and sneak them past the marshal, and you're good to go. Yeah, and then my go-to drink. I think did I say it already? I know transfusions are pretty. You know, I know I talked about this earlier in that just a few minutes ago, but I'm trying to think like what is my go-to like other than beer. It probably have to be like like I don't know. I can't even say Jack and Coke. I was thinking like maybe like a Jameson and Coke or yeah. I just haven't had like a drink like that or a go-to drink in a while. It's just been beer, just drinking tall can and just kind of chillax and play on the course. Um, yeah, it's a bummer. I can't think of one. Sorry, guys. Kind of keeping it boring here. But off the golf course, I like a good um old fashioned. Good one. I like old fashioned. And yeah, pretty much it. So I kind of talked about this last week, but if you didn't see it, it's fine. And the other one was still, how do I mentally reset after a battle? And I kind of talked about this, especially after if you didn't listen last week or last episode, I was in a tournament. I had over, and I was such and such over, but then I was within the running, or so I thought of, making the cut, or at least being in the running to win. But I got a 9 on a hole in a par 5, so it's 4 over on a hole. I mean, it's a quad. You're usually not coming back from that, especially if you're already 7, 8 over. So anyway, so now I know just to, if I ever have a blow up hole, which I still do, I have triples. I think I had a quad. I don't remember when I had it, but I had a quad, another one not too long ago. And you just kind of, oh no, Ansel Hawk, or hey, Jesus, at Hagen Oaks, Alistair McKenzie, I went par and then I tripled the second hole, tripled it. So I'm like, already. So I just said, you know what? There's a lot of holes left. It's, you can chill, just relax, a lot of holes. And, if you par the next hole, then I looked at it like you spread it out, and now it's like you bogey the first 3 holes and go from there. And it's like no damage done. Because bogeys, I feel like, but if you bogey, you can always go on a par run and get a birdie, can kind of change the trajectory of the round. So, so that's what I did, and I parred the next hole. Boom, there you go, 3 over after 3, and we're back to bogey golf, and we can make it run. And it's true. I think I ended up shooting an 85, 86. I mean, I blew up at the end. Yeah. Anyway, that one will probably come out. I recorded some of it, and yeah. So just remember, even if it's like the last hole, or like in the last few holes, like just remember, like, hey, just calm. It's a new hole, and finish out strong. So just kind of take a step back and saw whatever you do to calm your heart rate or calm down, and just, okay, brand new hole, brand new. And that's what I like about golf actually too, is that, you can have a bad hole, or there's always a new hole. There's a restart, there's a reset. Because in some sports, it's just like you continuously play a game, you continuously play. There's no reset, there's no like mental reset where it's like, okay, there's a new hole and you can start over. Once it's in that hole, once you like put it in the hole, boom, move on to the next hole, and it's like a whole new round. And you can kind of, go from there, and like I did on the second hole the other day. So yeah, just little things, just realize it's, hey, you're going to always have a blow up hole, and it's just how you respond and how you react. And that's how you're going to finish the round. So yeah, it was kind of another one came in, but kind of more of like after a blow up hole. I think the other one was just how do you not lose it when you're having a bad round? I think that was the other question. Um, but yeah, so The last thing, I mean, then, when I'm by myself, I just try to do these quick episodes. But the last thing that I just kind of want to talk about is, I've been doing this for a year now. So I think anybody who's been watching all along, watching, listening, however you are, thank you. I know I don't have many followers or, so there are people watching, but I just want to say that I'm not going anywhere. I am going to continue to do this. What does the next year look like for me? Well, I think I'm going to try to get more guests on. I'm going to try to my goal is to get, local guys from here in the Sacramento area who also have YouTube or also have podcasts and in the golf space and try to get them on. I have a surprise guest for next week already lined up, and we'll just keep, try to keep that momentum going. I will also try to get people in the golf space that are also out of the area and try to get them maybe on remote interviews. So I think that'll be cool. And then as far as the YouTube space, I'm posting the podcast on there, but I really want to move to the next level of getting on the course, recording on the course. I have recorded on the course. I just need to edit and put it together and kind of find my style of on course filming, on course editing. And that comes with time, right? I mean, even, going through the growing pains of starting a podcast, finding a space like this, you know, having an editor in the beginning and then having to edit my own videos and just kind of going through the growing pains of the first year. But I will tell you that, after kind of going through everything, learning everything, I mean, I love it. I mean, who wouldn't want to come and talk about golf? I know not everybody wants to be in front of a camera. Not everybody likes the sound of their voice, but and I still don't, but I have to get through it and, kind of just, um, go with the flow and just put stuff out, right? And learn. Cause every time I do an episode or every time, even if you would have told me that I could do a 40-minute episode by myself, just talking about golf, I would have said, you're crazy. One, I don't even know if I keep that stream of consciousness going, which I don't, as you can tell. Sometimes I pause, sometimes I'm like thinking about the next thing I want to talk about. But if you would have told me that I would be able to do that, I mean, I don't think I would have believed you. Um, and then the fact that we're still going strong a year later, I think I believe that. I think, I'm pretty good at keeping things consistent. I think definitely having a place where you can book or, have like this, like X Golf, and that helped me be accountable. Having Gavin in the beginning be accountable. Having guests on kept me accountable because, you've already booked it. Or you've already said, hey, we're doing this date. Can you do it? So it's already booked. But yeah, just a little growing pains. I've learned a lot. This is episode 34. Can you believe it? 34 episodes. It's not 52 out of the full year, but hey, we're growing. I'm trying to, my goal is hit 44 by the end of this year, out of end of 2025, and that's 11 more episodes. I think that's going to be, I am hoping we'd blow by that one, or at least, come pretty close. Cause I am thinking of maybe only doing 2 podcasts a week and then more filming. You know, there's just so many avenues, get and how do we get more eyes on the podcast, right? Or, just on YouTube, how I think that's another thing too, is I'm kind of rebranding in the sense of I'm not changing the name, but now we're going to be Game One Less Forever. I feel like it's a little more encompassing. I feel like it's, it can go anywhere. It can be on course. It can be with your buddies. It can be, there's just so many different avenues, right? Where the Game One Less Forever podcast, I feel like that already gives people a preconceived notion of what we are, what I am, and where we're trying to go. Whereas Game One Less Forever, what game? Well, I know it's a game. What game is it? Sport? Is it golf? I mean, if you really look at it, it's GOLF, right? Game One Loves Forever. I don't know if I ever actually really explained that on the podcast or in any videos, but I just thought it was kind of cool. And the rebranding will be more encompassing it and it's less of a mouthful. One, just game one loves forever. Game one loves forever. I just like that. I think it flows a little bit better. Obviously, when you're saying in a sentence like "Welcome back to the game one loves forever," I mean that makes sense, right? But yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. That's because that doesn't pigeonhole me. It takes away the podcast. I'm still going to do the podcast, but it just gives me a little bit more freedom to broaden out, do different things. I mean, I have so many ideas. It's just getting them from paper to the course or here, recording here and just having the time and getting people willing to come on the podcast or record or be in front of a camera. And if anybody wants to come on, you're local here in the Sacramento area, reach out to me, DM me. I mean, I'm open. We can talk about different things. I enjoy. I mean, if you think you would enjoy coming on as a guest, please by all means reach out. I'm open for anything. And you have to travel, unfortunately, if you're here in the Sacramento area, because I like to come to a studio, so to speak. It's just a little bit nicer. It feels like a good environment for a podcast and for recording. So yeah, I'm really excited for this next year and just in the next 6 months. I think by the end of the year, we'll be at a good place. And really just, how do we grow the channel? How do we grow the podcast? How do we grow getting eyes on the podcast? There's so many things. So yeah, now that I've kind of honed in on, being able to do a podcast, being able to talk about golf, I can do it on my own if I need to, but I love guests. I know you guys love guests. It shows in the numbers when I have, Rich on, when I have other guys on that are good and just, can talk about golf and it shows that you guys, really like when we either talk current events or we just bring someone on and we just go back and forth with golf. So I can see, you may not comment, uh, you may not directly tell me, but I can tell by the views or, what works, what doesn't, where people fall off. And I just hope that the next year or in the next 6 months to a year, when we're here again in 2 years, I mean, I can't imagine where we will be. And all I know is I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep doing it. And yeah. So we'll see where we go. So again, if you're still here, thank you. If you're still listening on this episode, thank you. Probably people turned off when I said, "Oh, it's a year," but just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And everybody's helped me along the way. So many guests. I don't want to name them all because I'll probably miss, but thank you to all my guests. Thank you, Chuck, here at X Golf. Thank you so much, and your staff. You guys have been great to work with. You've been so accommodating. And Gavin, thank you, sir, for working with me for the first half 6 months of the year. And maybe you'll come on one day, but thank you to everyone. And then I got to thank my wife. She puts up with me and my dreams and, trying to want to do things like this. And so just appreciate everyone who's putting some time, who's putting time to come on. Anything you've done to help, I appreciate it. And yeah, I think that's it. I mean, it's a pretty quick episode. Just kind of wanted to come on, say a few things. Midsummer golf season. I think now is when I'm gonna hit my stride as far as golf. I feel like I'm pretty close to hit another below 80 score, and I'm gonna walk some more courses. I love it, and yeah, we'll just keep grinding, keep going, keep grinding. And again, if you guys have any comments, please comment, like, subscribe. Really helps me out, like I said. And yeah, we'll keep growing this thing. And thank you for watching. And we will see you next time here at Game One Loves Forever. Still have to say the. So sorry. All right. All right, guys. I will see you next week. Peace.